Hey, what's going on, guys? Tosh from Stack Trading. We are in day number 2 of the small account challenge, and let me tell you, it is not going that well. I'll be completely honest here. Small caps have just died out. There is not a lot of movement going on right now. But I'm going to get into why that's happening, as well as where were the opportunities today. There weren't a lot of small cap movers today. I took about 3 trades, all of them red, and we'll go over not only how we played them, but what is the strategy moving forward from here on. But before we kick things off, please make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content just like this, along with our trade of the day videos and educational content that we put out for free. Be sure to like the video as well. Hit that notification button so that you know when we launch these videos, and comment below how did you perform today with some of the small cap names, and then also what you traded today. So with that being said, let's go ahead and kick things off. For me, it was definitely a red day on the small account challenge today. As you can see here, I'm down $205 today. I took about 3 trades today. One of the losses were a little heavier than I wanted to, and we'll get into why that it shaped out that way. But overall, it's a bad day, but it's not a terrible day, right? We'll come back tomorrow with with a better strategy, as well as refining some things that we're doing here. And we'll go over how we're doing that. But on my main account was an excellent day. The overall market was where you wanted to be, whether you're trading the SPYs, the Qs, any of the tech names. That was where you wanted to be today. We'll go over that in another video when Alex does the trade of the day. It was an excellent day for us on our main accounts. But with that being said, I'll be going over 3 of the trades that I took today. The first being BMRA. I took this trade actually during the pre-market session. Once we had this big volume spike come in, it saw the stock shoot up from $4.18 all the way up to $5.15. This was actually the only small cap stock that I had on my radar, on my scanners, during the morning before the market even opened. So the way that I played it is I waited for the stock to break that high, that $5.15. And right around here it broke that high, and then I noticed it started to stall out a bit, right? So because of that, I quickly adjust my stops to the low of this candle. I let the next 5 minutes trade out just to see if we were going to have an inside bar with potential follow through afterwards, but that just wasn't the case. It did just end up fading out. As you can see, even when the market opened, it had no bounce whatsoever, just completely gave everything out. So I decided to actually get out here around $4.92. So I ended up reducing my risk by a substantial amount by doing that, and I only took a $36 loss on that trade. So overall, not terrible, not where we wanted to be, obviously, because had it gone in my favor, I was in a few hundred shares. It would have been an excellent trade, potentially a $100 profit or even more, but it ended up fading, right? Didn't end up giving us the opportunity. The next trade that I took was a little bit, more of a loss. This was right at the open. PTIX. This ended up popping on my radars probably about 15 minutes before the market opened. Things really started to kick off. You had a nice bull flag. It had a lot of the criteria that we look for in small cap names for a potential run. It was a former runner. PTIX had a huge day yesterday with a lot of volume, huge volume spike compared to its average volume that it puts on a day-to-day basis. It did give back most of the gains that it put in yesterday, a little bit over 50% of the gains that it had. However, today it was gapping up, right? It was gapping up from the close, so I felt there was a good chance that we could maybe test yesterday's highs with this gap up that it had. So I decided to give it a shot, especially considering it had the bull flag formation right at the pre-market. Also, the other criteria that we look for is the float. It has a very small float, below 10 million shares, I believe. So that really goes to show that this stock can move once the momentum gets going with it. So because of that, I decided to try it out. I placed my stops down here around $3.80, $3.79, and it started off great. Ripped up to $4.20. Somehow, I had very bad slippage on this play. I actually tried to get long here at the break of $4, and I got filled at $4.13. So this actually should have been a break-even trade because had it shot, it shoots up to $4.20. I'm up 1 to 1. That's a clear signal for me to go break even. But I had very bad slippage on this play. So nonetheless, I did end up taking the loss, but this actually should have been a break-even trade. But it ended up being by far my biggest loser of the day. I lost $125 on this play, primarily due because of that slippage. So because of that, it shot up there. I got filled at 413. It hit 420. So because of that, I had to give it its room to that low day. Unfortunately, it ended up hitting that low day and stopped me out again for that $125 loss. So very, very unfortunate the way it played out. But nonetheless, I knew going into the next trade I had to really reduce risk, right? Because I didn't want this day to really exceed my max loss that I allow for each day, which is really around that $150 to $200 range. So PRPO was the last trade that I took on the day. Again, this was another stock, very similar criteria as PTIX. It was a former runner just yesterday. Actually, all week it's been having really good volume, as well as last week. Had a really good run yesterday before giving it back about 50% of it. Has a very small float. So because of that, we wanted to, see if we could get a breakout here, right? Had a huge move here from $4.30 all the way up to the high of day, and then you had a pullback to that 8 and 20. Once I saw that bounce, I decided to give it a crack here as it broke 470, 475, and it completely failed. Right? You had what potentially looked like a bull flag breakout, just turned into a double top. I had my stops here around $4.58, I believe. So I did end up reducing my risk on this play, and I took a $44 loss on that. So for me, 0 for 3 on the day. And then even considering yesterday, I think I had one like really good winning trade yesterday. I think it was actually from PRPO. And other than that, I've been taking a lot of losses. And I've gone back, I've really looked at the setups. Everything looks good, right? It meets a lot of the criteria. Former runners, very small cap, small float, bull flag breakouts, things of that nature. And what I've started to notice is there's just not a lot of momentum with small caps. Why is that? Why is there no momentum with small caps? Well, if you've taken a look at a lot of the larger stocks, the large cap stocks lately, the blue chip stocks, Tesla, Apple, NEO, the Qs, SPYs, a lot of the indices, those are the moves. Those are the stocks that are moving, right? The overall market is moving. There was a huge sell-off today, followed by a huge bounce during the open. So because of that, I have to now be very, very picky with the plays that I take on this small account because I'm in an environment where there's not a lot of follow through. There's not a lot of opportunity. So coming into tomorrow and for the rest of the week, I'm going to be very conservative with my setups. Only look for very small risk, high potential reward with some of these setups. So we'll see how things play out tomorrow. My account value right now is around $650. Lost about $200, have about $50 in commissions. So I do have a hurdle to climb. But the good thing is with a lot of these small caps is that you can make your money very, very quickly. So we'll see how things shape out. But right now, like I said, it's a tough time for the small caps. But we have to adapt our strategy and not continue to take some of these blows that I'm incurring. So with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for me today. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for how the small account challenge turns out for day 3. If I end up taking a trade, we'll see how things play out. But be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification button, and comment below. What stocks were you trading today? Were you trading small caps? How'd you trade them? Did you end up green on the day, red on the day? Share below, and let's get the conversation going. But I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. Peace.